Yeah.
On behalf of the Brunswick Booster Club, I would like to welcome you to the 2020 Virtual Athletic Banquet. A special thanks goes to the Brunswick High School administration, staff, parents, and students for your continued support of the Booster Club. We would also like to thank Mr. Scott Singleton and the multimedia class for the awesome hype videos shown at Meet the Wildcats night and throughout the year. I would like to thank my officers Amy Sims, Mona Dobbins, and Christian Richardson for all your hard work throughout the year. Each year, the Brunswick Booster Club grants 2 graduating seniors, 1 male and 1 female, the Keg Lewis Scholarship in the amount of $125 each. This year's recipients are J.T. Collier and Chloe Llewellyn. Congratulations, J.T. and Chloe. The Charles Newsom Award is presented to a member of the varsity girls basketball or softball team who has displayed outstanding sportsmanship throughout the season. This year's recipient is Chloe Llewellyn. Congratulations, Chloe. The R.W. Spence Award is given to a young man that fans feel has demonstrated the best all-around characteristics of good sportsmanship during the basketball season. This award goes to J.T. Collier. Congratulations, J.T. The Coach E Baseball Sportsmanship Award is presented to a member of the baseball team that demonstrates good sportsmanship during the baseball season. The recipient of this award is Gus Kussman. Congratulations, Gus. Sally Anglin was indeed the biggest Wildcat fan. She could be found at every home game cheering on her Wildcats. In her memory, a Sally Anglin Spirit Award will be given each year to a member of the cheerleading squad who has displayed the best characteristics of good sportsmanship and school spirit. The first Sally Anglin Spirit Award will go to Madison Dickerson. Congratulations, Madison. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Coach Hall from Keatsville, and just wanted to talk about the baseball awards from the fall. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play our spring season. I was really looking forward to that, but that didn't happen. So just getting right into it, we had a really nice season in the fall. We went 4-2, only had 6 games. We had several rained out. I think some of those teams were a little scared to play us, but nevertheless, we had a good season, and I was really looking forward to this spring and being able to improve upon that. A couple stats for you. We hit 257 as a team. We had an on-base percentage of 460. We drew 41 walks and had some nice stolen bases and things like that from different guys. A stat I really like, we had 10 different guys hit by a pitch. And I think that's pretty cool that we were that tough to get hit by a pitch and find a way to get on. So, going to get right into the awards. Hunter Stockwell hit 462 this fall. It was a very impressive average. With his 462 average, he had a 650 on-base percentage. So Hunter will get the award for the best average this fall. Moving on, Hunter will also get the award for RBIs. He had 9 RBIs, did hit a home run this year. And Hunter also held our steals lead in 6 games. He had 5 steals. So pretty impressive for him to collect all of those offensively, and that is why he's also getting the award for the most valuable player offensively. As I said, 462 batting average, 650 on-base percentage, and 9 RBIs in 5 games. So really impressive from Hunter. Moving on to some defensive awards, I wanted to talk about our most valuable player defensively, and that's going to be Trey Stockwell. Trey is a freshman from Northwestern and did a really nice job for us catching. He caught virtually every inning behind the plate and was just a wall back there, and was really impressed with Trey. You know, Trey could play several positions on the field and exceed and do well at them, but ultimately we needed a catcher, and Trey was willing to step into that role and fill that spot, and I'm really happy with the progress he made and just how smart he was behind the plate and how well he managed our pitching staff. So Trey Stockwell, the most valuable defensive player from fall 2019. Moving on to the pitching award, we have a most valuable pitcher from the fall 2019 was Evan Craig. Evan had several starts for us and ended up pitching a total of 11 innings in our 6 games and had a .63 ERA, which is just really good. Did give up a few walks, but had 15 strikeouts in those innings, and averaging more than one strikeout an inning is really impressive, especially for a high school pitcher. Really proud of Evan and his low ERA, and if guys did get on base, he was willing to bear down and make the pitches when needed, and that's obviously shown through that ERA under 1. So great job, Evan. We'll definitely miss you next year. That Evan is a senior, and sad to see him go, but he's had a great career here at Keatsville. Our most improved player was our center fielder, Hayden Harms from Northwestern. He's a freshman. He hit .357 this year, had a .526 on-base percentage, and had 8 RBI, one off the lead that Hunter Stockwell had to win that award. So really impressive for Hayden to come on as strong as he did as a freshman. He's a great baseball player and an even better person, and really looking forward to seeing where that young group, especially at Northwestern, those 3 freshmen with Hayden, Trey, and Gage, where they're going to go. They all pitch. They're all impressive. So really looking forward to seeing how bright the future is going to be for BK baseball. Speaking to some of those freshmen, I'd like to talk a little bit more about Gage. Didn't get an award, but did fill up the stat sheet. Led the team in walks. Had 7 walks and just 20 plate appearances. Gage was constantly on base. He had a .550 on base percentage, which extremely impressive. Gage scored 10 runs, the most runs for anybody on the team. So Gage was a force to be reckoned with, not only offensively but also defensively. I feel like Gage is probably the shortstop of the future for BK baseball, and really excited to see where he goes. Freshman from Northwestern that has a lot of potential and upside and knows a lot about the game of baseball. So really excited to see the future for Gage. Another up-and-comer for BK baseball is Christian Brockman. He's a sophomore from Keatsville and pitches for us and plays some outfield and does a little bit of everything, anything we ask him to. And really excited about Christian's potential moving forward, especially as a pitcher. He's only going to get better with the more innings he gets to pitch. So really looking forward to seeing him in the future. A couple guys I'd like to talk about from Brunswick, some of the freshmen as well, were Kendall Haston and Hayden Wilson, and was really impressed with those guys day in and day out and their work ethic and just how much they improved over the course of the season. So, like I said, am excited for the future of BK baseball. It's definitely a young core, a lot of talent with this freshman class, and I know at Keatsville we've got a 8th grade class coming up that's got some pretty talented baseball players in it, and I'm definitely excited to see what the future brings. I want to give a shout out to Isaac Medlin as well, a sophomore from Keatsville, and just a really dynamic presence at the plate. He's got very quick bat speed, and when Isaac does get a hold of a ball, it goes a long way. So one of our strongest guys on the team, and hope he continues to stick with baseball in the future. Last guy I'd like to talk about before I get to the seniors is Gus. Gus, you might notice I'm wearing the OG hat, as you call it. Gus Kussman from Brunswick is a junior, and just a tremendous guy, great character, and really a good baseball player. He'd probably tell you baseball's not his favorite sport, but he is good at it. Gus actually had the 2nd highest slugging percentage of anybody on the team. It seemed like if Gus was going to hit the ball, he was going to hit it hard and hit it far, and he was going to use his legs to stretch those singles into doubles and doubles into triples. So really missing the spring season and not getting to see Gus, but another guy that definitely contributed this fall for us. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the seniors. We had 4 seniors this year. We had 2 from Keatsville and 2 from Brunswick. Jake Ayers and Tyler Reinitz from Brunswick. Tyler had a really nice season this fall. He hit .333, pitched for us as well. Tyler's just an excellent player, got a good baseball mind, and really going to miss him being a leader next year. Another senior from Brunswick was Jake Ayers, and Jake was one of those players that always had a smile on his face and was always a joy to be around, whether it was games or practice. So I'm going to miss Jake as well. The 2 seniors from Keatsville are Isaiah Martinez and Evan Craig. As I said earlier, Evan ate up a lot of innings for us and was our starting shortstop when he wasn't pitching, and is definitely going to be missed for his glove as well as his bat at the plate. Isaiah is a kid that kind of bounced around, mostly played second base. Did a lot of nice things for us, and I'm going to miss Isaiah as well, and I'm excited to see what happens with those guys in the future. As baseball coaches, we teach the players to be very observant and really focus on the minute details and focus on those baseball seams as they come in, and you're watching the pitch as it comes to the plate to be able to identify it as soon as possible. Wondering if you guys were very observant during this video and noticed that my hat changed several times. I'm wearing 4 BK baseball hats right now, so just something a little fun. Hope you're all staying safe during this pandemic, and look forward to seeing you down the road.
Hi everyone, I'm Carrie Zelstra. I'm one of the BK Lady softball coaches this year. I hope you're all staying safe and hanging in there during this time. I know this is not the typical kind of athletic banquet that you're used to, but I guess it's a sign of the times this year because we're going to do things virtually. So I'm going to start off by going over some of the accomplishments that this team had during the 2019 softball season. The BK Lady Thunder had an outstanding season this year, and I know I've said all along that these girls, in my mind, really represent the dream team. The 3 schools came together and ended up meshing really well together as one team. It took a couple games in the beginning to get all the kinks worked out and everyone finding their role on this team. But once we started winning, that momentum took over and these girls never looked back. The season ended with 20 games being played with an overall record of 19-1. And I'm not sure of the individual school records on this one, but it's got to be one of the best records of any of our 3 schools have ever accomplished. At the end of the regular season, prior to our last game, we were the only team in the state of Missouri, Class 1, that was remaining undefeated. And going into districts, BK Lady Thunder team was ranked 6th in the state of Missouri. Some highlights of the season were, we were the CLAA conference champions with a conference record of 4-0. BK Lady Thunder were the CLAA conference tournament champions. This team also went undefeated in the Keatsville tournament, winning 1st place. And we were the district champions for the 2nd year in a row. Some stats this team has achieved throughout the 2019 season were 20 overall games played, an overall team batting average of 411, 195 hits as a team, including 132 singles, 46 doubles, 8 triples, and 9 home runs. 252 total runs were scored this year. We had 113 stolen bases, 154 defensive strikeouts, 291 putouts on defense, and our team only made 19 total errors on the season. Another big accomplishment that I'd like to congratulate these athletes on is that BK Lady Thunder achieved the status of academic all-state as a team. So in order for a team to qualify for this distinction, the varsity team has to have a cumulative unweighted grade point average of 3.3 or better on a 4.0 scale. So the members of the BK Lady Thunder Academic All-State Softball team for the 2019 season are Elena Adams, Braylee Adams, Sarah Bartholomew, Emily Bell, Brianna Brown, Taylor Bowie, Abby Dobbins, Dixie Dowell, Chloe Llewellyn, Harley Lewis, Alexa McCollum, Avery Neidholt, Addie Riley, Elise Sims, Anna Spicinger, and Kendra Zelstra. Congratulations to all these student athletes. This recognition shows their dedication is not only to softball, but to academics as well. Something that I would like to point out is the leadership, the heart, and the drive of these girls was really something to witness day after day on the practice field and during the games. So I want to personally congratulate you on an outstanding season. So I think that's going to lead us into the individual awards. I'm going to start off with the senior players, and they were a big part of the heart and soul of this team. They're leaving some big shoes to fill. So starting from Brunswick, we have first off Abby Dobbins, definitely a team leader by example. Some of the awards that Abby achieved this softball season were All-Conference Pitcher of the Year, All-District Pitcher, All-Region First Team, and Academic All-State individually. The next senior I'd like to recognize is Chloe Llewellyn. This softball season, the awards she received are All-Conference Second Team and All-District Catcher. Next up, we have Elise Sims. Her softball achievements this season include All-Conference First Team and All-District Infield. The next senior that we have is from Northwestern, Emily Bell. This season, her softball awards were All-Conference First Team, All-District Infield, and all-region infield first team. Next up is Dixie Dow from Keatsville. She was our first player off the bench and came in and did some great things this year for us, so I would like to recognize her for her dedication and hard work to this sport over the last 4 years. Next up, we have some juniors up for recognition. First off, from Brunswick, Addie Riley. She received all-conference second team. Our next player is Braylee Adams from Northwestern. She received all-conference first team, all-district infield, all-region infield first team, and all-state second team. Next up is our lone sophomore is Anna Speisinger from Northwestern, earning some recognition. She got all-conference second team, all-district outfield, all-region second team, and academic all-state individually. Finally, rounding out our freshman, Kendra Zelstra from Brunswick. She received all-conference first team and all-district outfield. And finally, Elena Adams from Northwestern. She received all-conference first team, all-district infield, and all-region second team. So congratulations, girls. You can see from all of these 9 starters receiving awards that our team really put themselves on the map this year. Again, we have some big shoes to fill from our seniors leaving, but I'd also like to add that 2 of our senior team members have signed letters of intent to play softball at the collegiate level. Abby Dobbins is going to be playing at NCMC in Trenton, and Emily Bell is going to be playing in CMU in Fayette. So we wish them well and good luck with their softball careers in college. Okay, so that's going to lead us into our team awards. This year, our team awards are based off of individual stats that are kept by an online app called Game Changer. The first award is the highest batting average, and that award is going to Braylee Adams. She had a batting average of 705, which is really close to 200 points higher than the next player next to her on the team. She was our leadoff hitter, and we could always count on her to put the ball in play and get on base for us. The next award is for the most RBIs, and that award is going to Abby Dobbins. She had the most on the team with 40 RBIs on the season. She was our number 3 batter, and we could count on her to drive in the runs when we needed her to. The next team award is for the most stolen bases for the year. That award is also going Braylee Adams with 26 stolen bases, and her stolen base percentage is .963. The next award is the MVP for defense, and that award is going to Abby Dobbins. She has a fielding percentage of .963 with only 1 error on the season. She had 26 putouts fielding her pitching position. Next, we have the MVP offensive player. That is going to Braylee Adams. She put up some very impressive stats offensively for us this year. She had an on-base percentage of .760. Her slugging percentage was .934, and she led the team in the most hits on the season with 43. Our next award is for the MVP in pitching, and no surprise here, that award's going to Abby Dobbins. She's been BK's starting pitcher all 4 years of her high school career. Some of her pitching numbers for this year specifically were 154 strikeouts for the season. She faced 378 batters and held them to an overall batting average of .165. Her ERA on the season was 1.227. And something else that's noteworthy is she has over 400 strikeouts in her high school career as a pitcher, which is an impressive accomplishment. Our final team award for the 2019 season is Most Improved Player, and this was a tough award to give, looking at all the hard work and dedication of the players that we had on this team. But I feel the most deserving this year goes to Elena Adams. Elena started the season, the first few practices, recovering from an injury, and coming back from that, she put up some pretty big numbers in the stats department for us, both on offense and defense. She was generally number 2 or 3 in a lot of the categories that I mentioned earlier in those stats. And that was pretty big for a freshman to fill that spot on this team. Lastly, I'd like to wrap this up with some thank yous. First off, I'd like to thank our coach, Aaron Bell, for his leadership to this team this year. He was definitely leading the charge and played a big role in the team's success. Also, Kinley Dysert, thank you for your help and support as a coach this season as well. Our team managers, Allison and Kylie, thank you for passing out and collecting uniforms. With 3 schools, sometimes that was a challenge, but thank you for your hard work. Next up is Amy Sims. Thank you for keeping the book and also putting in the time washing the uniforms after every game. Sometimes I think about all that dirt and sweat, and I was never envious of you for that job. Also, Reggie Sims, thank you for running our Game Changer app this year, so it was easy to keep track of all of our stats. And most importantly, thank you to our administration, parents, grandparents, and just general fans this season. You guys came out and supported these girls at so many of the big profile games, conference tournament championship, district championship, sectionals. It was very moving from my end, looking from the field out into the crowd and seeing that sea of orange and black supporting these girls. I'd like to close it off with just saying that I'm really looking forward to the season to come. I'm hopeful and ready to get back on the field this summer and see what the 2020 Lady Thunders season has in store. So congratulations to all of our athletes. Good luck in the future, and thank you.
I'm Heather Junkins.
I'm Karen Fox.
We were the varsity sponsors for the last couple of years, and for this past year, 2020, we had 7 girls on our squad. We had 4 seniors and 3 sophomores. We had Madison Dickerson and Ariadne Theus were seniors, and they were also our co-captains. We had Kaylin Fox. We had McKaylee Patterson that were seniors. Our sophomores were Christine Kussman, Jocelyn Richardson, and Kinley Elliott.
This year we were able to compete in the CLAA conference tournament. We had 4 girls make the teams. On our first team was Kaylin Fox and Ariadne Theus. Our second team was Madison Dickerson and Christine Kussman.
We had a great year. I think we had the best squad ever. It was a lot.
Hey everyone, Coach Bird here. Hope everyone's staying home, being safe and healthy. We're going to start off with the basketball awards. First off, I'd like to say thank you to the staff and the administration for all of the support and help throughout the season. I'd also like to thank the parents and the family members through some of the stresses that I'm sure that the season put on them. And then lastly, I'd like to thank the athletes themselves. They put in lots of hard work and time this year to help this season be successful. Our record was 17-11 this year. We had several hard-fought battles, won several key games. We finished second in the Keatsville tournament, got consolation in the conference tournament, and capped the season off with an impressive second place in districts. We had several issues this year with injuries, which caused some ups and some downs. We had some key players miss out on some games. But we dug deep and found inside of us the grit to push on through. I had never seen a team that came up so short or was so short-handed in the end that really dug down and found inside them the fight to win at all costs late in the season. We faced 2 tough teams that had both beaten us already in districts. And we ended up coming back to beat them both in district play before we finished off with that second place finish. So kudos to the guys for really pushing through and working hard because they really just didn't want to quit and go home. I'll move on into some of the awards. For the first awards, they're all stat-based. So thank you to, again, the administration for allowing me to have the Huddle account that actually electronically puts all of these stats up, so it's less human error. They have guys that actually work on this in the software that stat this, and there's a crazy number of stats that you can come up with, but we've stuck pretty much with the basics for the awards. So this year, the most points award goes to Amari Glasgow. The most rebounds award will also go to Amari Glasgow, and the most steals and most assists will also be to Amari Glasgow. He was obviously a very key player for us this year, both offensively and defensively. With his speed and athleticism, he was able to put the team on his back a lot of times and really help us through. Amari had 427 points. He had 236 rebounds. He had 90 steals and 58 assists. So he had a very impressive stat line. Next, we'll go with most blocks. This went to Damon McCall. His long arms defensively really came through. His defense really helped us out in Meadville. He was able to guard their post all of the posts to shut them down, especially in that win over Hale. He really shut down the Sears kid. So Damon had 22 blocks. Free throw percentage was a young kid this year. It was Braden Norris with 70.6%. Usually when I see 70.6%, it comes from kids that have shot maybe 10 free throws. I don't have written down in front of me the number that he shot, but I know it was well over 20 and maybe even 30, something like that. And he came through in a couple of late situations where he had to actually step to the line with very clutch free throws at hand, and he was able to step up there and knock them down. Next, we'll have the three-point percentage. We actually had 4 guys this year shoot over 30% from the three-point line, which is a pretty good number from high school, especially considering the number of threes that some of our guys shot. But this year, the three-point percentage award is going to go to Kobe Tatum with 34.8%. JT Collier was not far behind. I believe he had 31% on nearly double the amount of attempts. So congrats to JT and Kobe both. And then finally, for the stat-based awards, we have the field goal percentage, and that also went to Damon McCall with 51.1%. So Damon's, once again, his long arms and athletic ability under the basket allowed him to catch rebounds and score on his own and put it back up off the glass for a pretty high percentage shot. Second place on that one was Amari Glasgow, and he actually, for the beginning part of the season, probably stuck somewhere around the 65%, but towards the end fell below the 50.1 or the 51.1 that Damon finished up with. My next 4 awards is usually voted on by the players. This year, with all the craziness going on, I was not able to get my ballots out with the transition from basketball to track. I kind of ran out of time and to get the ballot out. So the next 4 awards, though they're usually voted on by the players, I chose this year. And that is our offensive MVP, defensive MVP, most improved, and the hustle award. The offensive MVP this year, I decided that I was going to give to Amari Glasgow. Based on the stats above, he had the most points and the most rebounds on the team. So I thought he was definitely the right person for the award. He also at times was able to put the team on his back. He had multiple games over in the 25 plus and even had a couple of games over 30 points. Whenever our team struggled to score, Amari was able to kind of take hold and bring us back or keep us in the ballgame. So he was the one deserving of our offensive MVP award. The next one will be the defensive MVP award. And I think the team would agree with me for sure on this one, that this award has to also go to Amari Glasgow. His speed is able to keep him in front of most any any offensive player that we put him on. He generally guards the opposing team's best player, or maybe not best player, but quickest player or best scorer on their team. So that's the reason that I gave the defensive MVP to Amari Glasgow. Next, I have the most improved. I really like this one to go to the kid, or to go to or have be voted on by the kids. I feel like that it is something that they are able to evaluate themselves and kind of cheer each other on and pick each other up with this award. But since times are a little different this year, I went ahead and I gave it to Kobe Tatum. Though Kobe was a very key player last year in some things and scored a lot of points and was pretty good defensively, I thought this year he really stepped up. He went from a guy that put in 2, 4, 6 points a game to averaging the second most points on the team. He also averaged the second most rebounds on the team, and he did this with a small stature of only maybe 5'9". So he was very good for us, both offensively and defensively. He went from a decent shooter as a sophomore to, we worked on a little bit of shot form and got it to where he actually, like I said above, that he ended up with the 3-point percentage award. So he really turned his shot around and was really good at attacking the basket. There were many a times that I had to get into him a couple of times, like, Kobe, you're faster than the kid. Just go. And it clicked with him like that. He would take his kid to the basket, liked that baseline drive, little floater over the side. So he's going to get my most improved award this year. And then lastly is my hustle award. This award generally goes to the kid that works the hardest in practice, and works the hardest in game. But I think that it is key for a player to work when people aren't watching. So practice, to me, if a kid can work really hard in practice, it seems to transition over into the game much easier. So usually my hustle award goes to the kid that's working extra hard in practice. This year, it's going to go to JT Collier. JT has quite the body. He has flat feet. He has a messed up knee. His hip bothered him. His back was bothering him. You walk into the locker room and you nearly pass out from the biofreeze that man has put all over him. So he fought through injuries all year long. He was able to come to practice, run the sprints, do every drill that we went through, and it showed that he was really determined to lead our team and help our team get the wins that we did get. So our hustle award was a little bit different this year just because it wasn't voted on by the kids, but I think that JT was very deserving of this award due to all of the injuries that he had, and the heart of that kid is huge. So that ends my awards. I have a few more recognitions for 3 of the players that came from outside the school, so those aren't stat-based. They weren't chosen by me. So we'll start off with Kobe Tatum. Kobe received 3 honors this year. He received second team All-Conference. He got first team All-District, and he was selected to the KMZU Dream Team. Next, we'll go to JT Collier. JT was chosen to the first team All-Conference, second team All-District. And then lastly, we'll go to Amari Glasgow. Amari received first team All-Conference, the CLAA Conference All-Defensive Team, first team All-Districts, the KMZU Dream Team, and the Central Mo Info first team All-District. So Amari had quite the stat line this year and had quite the awards. One name that I think some of you all will be surprised that didn't come up more was probably JT's, just because of the role that he did play in several games. In those stat-based awards that I said above, though Amari received a good chunk of those, JT was short behind on nearly every one of them. So we really had a team this year that could pick up the slack that somebody else left. So if Amari was injured or just had a bad night, JT could pick it up. If JT was having a bad night, Kobe came in and helped us out. If Kobe was having a bad night, Gus had some good games. So we really had 5 or 6 guys on any given night that could show up, which made us really tough to guard, and I think kind of helped lead to that 17-11 record. So I was really proud of this year's team. I thought 17-11 actually exceeded probably both mine and the team's goal. I thought we kind of were all on the same page of maybe a 15-win season, something like that. The main thing that I told the team early on was, I said, yeah, we finished close to 500 last year. That's good. But, and then I said, I want you all to look back at last year's schedule. Who did we beat? They all kind of looked at each other, kind of looked up. I said, we really only won the games that we were supposed to. I said, you become a good team when you start beating teams that are better than you in everyone else's eyes. You start being a great team when you can go into games with the crowd kind of against you and show up to maybe somebody else's place and knock them off. And I thought we did that several times this year. We got a couple of tough wins over Keatsville early on. We beat Hale in districts. We stuck with several teams that probably would have beaten us last year by a pretty high number. But I really think that this year the kids' grit was just unmatched. I think it's a good transition for the entire program that these kids were able to dig down and find what it took to win. And I hope that continues to carry over with the underclassmen and maybe even the junior high coming up through that saw these guys play. So.
I would like to start this by thanking Amy Sims for coming in on weekends, starting early, working late at night, getting our jerseys washed and ready to go for the next game. And Coach Bird and Kimberly Jacobs for taking care of those jerseys once she was finished and passing them out and getting them to the athletes before games. Managers this year, we had a great group. Allison, Addison, Cole, and Troy, they did an amazing job getting great footage and helping athletes during timeouts and halftime and getting stuff on and off the bus. They did an amazing job this year. I'd like to start with the improvements that we had from the previous season, and that starts with our record. We achieved a 13-13 record this year, so we improved by 5 wins from the previous season, and that was the best record that a Lady Wildcat team had since the 2006-2007 season. Team free throw percentage, we increased by 14%. We had 81 more rebounds, 66 more steals, and we came home with a little more hardware this year. We competed for a trophy in every tournament that we played in other than districts. Trophies, we received consolation in the Northwestern tournament, 3rd place in the Keatsville tournament, and we lost the 3rd place game in the conference tournament to Tina. Our conference record was 5-3, which put us in 4th place in the conference. We easily could have got to that 3rd place mark if we would have edged out Minden in a great game during the pink out game. We lost in overtime. As a team, we wanted to improve our defense from our previous season. And the girls did that. We posted one of the lowest opponents' point per game total since the 2006-2007 season, holding opponents to 43 or lower points per game on average. So that was great, and we improved our points per game offensively, so that led us to some more wins this year, which was awesome. I'm now going to go into the stat-based awards. And a little background on these, we have a computer program that we send these videos in that we record, and they do our stats for us, which is a great asset for the coaches and the athletes. They're able to get on there and see the breakdowns of the games and learn a lot about them. Total points, Abby Dobbins had 353 points this year. Her career point total was 905. She was really close to the 1,000-point total. And I believe she would have got there if we wouldn't have had a few snowouts the previous year. And this year, the whole team went through a sickness that lasted several games. So that hurt her on that total. Total rebounds, Abby Dobbins had 163. Total blocks, Abby Dobbins had 18. Total assists, Abby Dobbins had 65. Total steals, Abby Dobbins 72. Free throw percentage, Abby Dobbins 67.5. 3-point percentage, Abby Dobbins 35%. Field goal percentage, Abby Dobbins 42%. Charges, Kinley Elliott, she came up with 9 charges. And this kind of goes back to last year. I started giving candy bars to anybody that took a charge because I feel like that's a game-changing thing. When you get the ball, the other team has a foul. The crowd goes crazy. The team is pumped up and energized. So we put a lot of emphasis on this. And the past 2 years, we've came up with girls that are in the record books for Missouri for charges with Elise Sims and now Kinley Elliott with 9. So that was awesome. Abby Dobbins got most of those awards above that I listed. She wasn't a selfish player. She was always up for passing the ball, getting the ball to others, and doing what's best for the team. If that meant that she needed to score a lot that game, she was going to score a lot that game. If that meant facilitating the ball or playing defense on one of the better players, she was going to do it. For postseason awards, all-district first team, Abby Dobbins. All-district second team was Addie Riley. Addie Riley this year was either second or third in almost every statistical category, so she took a big step. and she did some great things this year. She usually guarded the best player on the other team, and she was in the post offensively every night. So that was a big change for her, and she filled that void for us very well, and she did a good job. And I feel like she's going to take an even bigger step next year, improving on those positions. CLAA All-Conference first team, Abby Dobbins. CLAA All-Conference second team, Addie Riley. CLAA All-Defensive team was Kinley Elliott, which I thought that this was a huge recognition for her since she was our first person off the bench. She wasn't a starter, and she got recognized by the coaches. And there was only 5 athletes that got chosen for this, and she was one of the 5. So I think that tells a lot about Kinley. She prides herself on defense. She doesn't want to shoot the ball a whole bunch, but she likes to get up in girls' faces and try to get a turnover or frustrate them or chase them down on a fast break, and she does a great job with that. KMZU Dream Team, Abby Dobbins and Addie Riley. Lions Club Team, Abby Dobbins and Chloe Llewellyn. Central Missouri First Team All-District, Abby Dobbins. Central Missouri Second Team All-District, Addie Riley. And the next awards, we have 4 awards that are voted on by the players. I have no input on this. I just collect the ballots. MVP Offense goes to Abby Dobbins. MVP Defense goes to Addie Riley. Hustle Award went to Kinley Elliott. Most Improved went to Latajane Clark. Latajane didn't play for us last season, but this year she picked it up and she came a long way from where she started at the beginning. And I really think she'll be a true asset for next year's team and take a big step forward. She has great hands. She's ready to work, and she'll be a threat down low. This season was full of learning and growth and development. These girls improved each and every day as individuals. It was exciting to see the growth that they had in the short amount of time that we were together. These girls came into the season ready to work and wasn't afraid to show it on the court. We did have a rough ending to our season. The final 5 games we lost, and our district game was not very pretty. But I do believe that we came a long way since the beginning of the season, and we improved all the way through. We did reach our goal of 12 wins, which we set at the beginning of the year, and a lot of people thought we were crazy saying 12, but the girls knew that we could reach it, and I knew they could too. And that was an exciting night when we achieved that, and everybody was pretty proud of that moment. A little background on my coaching experience. I had never coached girls before in any sport. Looking back to 2 years ago when I was sitting in Miss E's office and she asked me what I thought about coaching girls basketball, the first thought was, she's crazy. There's no way that I'm made to do that. And little did I know that at that time, this would turn into something that I would love. This group of girls made an impact on my family and I that we'll keep for a lifetime. Whether it being the girls playing with Ryder or him sitting with them during games or practice, they really took our family in, and it made it a memorable experience that we feel lucky to have been a part of. They have made coaching easy, each and every day ready to come in. The girls love 6 a.m. practice. They were there at 5:40 in the morning, even after a road game, and they were ready to work. Sometimes they might be a little growly or not like the music that I played in the mornings to get them amped up, but it was a good experience. And these past 2 years have really flown by with them, and I thank each and every one of them for that. And I thank the parents and our crowd and everyone that supported us along this journey. I believe this group of girls has laid a great foundation for Lady Cats teams for years to come, and I'm excited to see what the future brings for them. The seniors, Abby, Elise, Ariadne, and Chloe, will be missed for their leadership and their play on the court. They were great assets for the team for the past 4 years, and I wish them luck with their future endeavors. And we have a little message for you. You ready? Go Wildcats!
Go Wildcats!
So, as you all know, track season was short-lived. I was highly disappointed when I got the final call or the final news that we officially had to cancel the track season. Misha finally, they were hanging on as long as they could, trying not to cancel anything because they wanted to at least get the postseason finished, or at least be able to run the postseason meet. But with all of the coronavirus things going on, they were unable to get that and unable to make that happen. So I had my fingers crossed the whole time, but I feel I feel most horrible that the seniors this year are going to be cut short. We had a very strong season last year with Gus and Addie and Amari all making it to state. And I was looking forward to making it back there this year. I thought we had all three of those athletes that could definitely make it there and do even better this year than last. I was definitely looking for podium on all three of those at state this year. And I thought Amari had an excellent shot at actually winning the 200 and the 400. But when practice got started, I could tell that these kids were ready, and I think the rest of them kind of jumped on their backs and went right with it. We had I can't remember the exact number right now, and I don't have any of that with me, obviously, because I'm at home. But we had probably just under 20 total athletes, and you could definitely tell that the leaders of the group, per se, that they were really pushing the younger kids or maybe the less experienced to do better. And I think that really helped out. I could see freshmen and sophomores and everybody just really working their tails off, trying to run stronger and run faster. We didn't really get into any of the sport-specific stuff, the event-specific stuff, as far as the like shot put and the javelin and long jump and things like that. We were really still in the conditioning phase and starting to move and transition over, but we got cut short. And I feel terrible for these guys they were really looking forward to the season. They were excited to get into the meets. And not only that, but I think they had set high expectations for themselves. I think they were all ready to get to that state meet with the three names that I mentioned, and also Kendra Zelstra. She was working her tail off to get to that state meet. She had that number in her mind of the time she wanted to hit, and we were really aiming for it. But things happen, I guess. Lastly, I would like to send one final send off to one senior in particular, and that's Amari Glasgow. A few weeks ago, Amari committed to run track at Northwest Missouri State University. Amari's been an amazing athlete here at BHS with several broken school records in the 200 and the 400. He set his own record and then re-broke it 2 or 3 times each, and I think was looking to shatter both of those once again this year with the strength that he was running in. And then he qualified for state and was there all 3 years. He was the favorite in the 200 and the 400 this year, probably coming in due to the second place finish in the 400, and was probably set to finish second. He qualified second in the 200 last year, but with the hamstring injury was unable to finish that high. But I think he was going to set to be the favorite for those races this year. So it's really disappointing that he wasn't able to get back to that stage and able to possibly take those medals home with him this year. I'm proud of everything that Amari's accomplished, and I can't wait to see what he has left in him. I think he'll be a fine young man in the college setting, and he has a great coach that he's going to be running for. So I think everybody should stay tuned and support him as he goes on through his next journey at the college level. So that concludes everything that I've got for you guys. Hopefully that this stuff can be through and gone by next fall so that we don't have to do any modifications for next seasons. But if not, hopefully everybody stays safe. Can't wait to see you guys next.